So I am quite passionate about NCDs because I have seen the ravages of NCDs firsthand in my family, as I said. My parents, I have seen other friends, family suffer greatly due to NCDs, but suffer from a point of ignorance in that they did not appreciate what damage was being done to them by not being aggressive with treating their conditions. We have this habit in Trinidad of being having a very frivolous approach to diabetes and hypertension because they don't see the effects immediately. The effects normally tend to be delayed. And we have this culture in Trinidad where we love sweet foods, sweet drinks, we eat all the wrong things. And that is where the intervention now has to come in. It's a cultural intervention. Well, you have to start to challenge culture by first of all coming up with a program of public education. As I said in my speech inside there, you can't have a short-term advertising campaign. It has to be a public education component which could drive the program for at least 3 to 5 years, because you have to change people's habits, how they think about themselves, how they think about their foods, how they think about their environment, how their attitudes toward exercising. And that is the intervention that is going to be needed, and that is where the IADB will be helping Trinidad and Tobago in not only funding it, but providing the technical expertise also with agencies like WHO, PAHO, to help us develop and fund this long-term intervention.
And having an implementation workshop like this, what's the importance of it?
An implementation workshop like this over 2 days will then inform the ministry of how we guide policy, how we develop policy. Because as I always say, my office is on the 4th floor of a building. I will execute policy from the 4th floor, but we have to develop policy from the ground up. And this is what this will do. This will give me the data, this will give me the learning and the research into developing policy from the ground up, which I can then implement. On the issue of funding, this is where the Inter-American Development Bank will come in. Because as I said in my speech inside there, it can't be a short-term advertising campaign, and then when the budget expires, the intervention dies. With the Inter-American Development Bank on board, and they have a session here this afternoon, they will inform us as to how the monies that they will lend us can be used towards this long-term intervention. Trinidad and Tobago has the unenviable distinction of being a regional leader in the incidence of cardiovascular disease, which has their genesis in things like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol. And it's a thorny crown which I don't like to wear as the Minister of Health in Trinidad and Tobago. I would prefer a crown that tells me we are not a leader in those. Let us be a leader in other aspects of health. Let us be a leader in cutting sugars. Let us be a leader in getting our population to exercise, especially our children. That's the type of leadership position I want. I want to get rid of that thorny crown and that trophy, which I don't like, about being a leader in NCDs, to be a leader in good eating habits, in having a population that exercises, that has children and parents who see the value of exercise and not having them sit in front of a TV and a video game and an iPad whole day and let technology be their babysitter. That is one of the main problems. We now have families where technology is the parent and technology is the babysitter. And these children don't see the outside of their homes. They don't know how to run around a yard and play cricket and play football. That's what I want to be a leader in.